This changes everything for the Houston Rockets as they are now projected to get one of the best power forwards in college basketball this past season. And this can be big on what the depth looks like for the Houston Rockets in years to come. Hello, everybody. I am Donovan Ricondo. I'm your host for Rockets Digest, where we break down all the latest news, rumors, and updates regarding your H-Town team. And we're going to get straight into the story for today. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Asa Newell, the top power forward prospect in the draft this year. And there is some big news regarding his status for the 2025 NBA draft. And that is because with the number 10 overall pick, Bleacher Report writer Jonathan Wasserman has the Rockets taking Georgia big man Asa Newell. Now, of course, we don't know where we're picking at. That's not until the draft lottery, but this new mock draft has us picking up this big man Asa Newell. And you're probably wondering, who is this guy? Well, the Georgia product had a typical game for himself against Gonzaga in the NCAA tournament, finishing with 20 points and 8 boards off a mix of one-handers and timely athletic finishes. I saw that game. He was absolutely amazing. He was certainly a standout the entire game. I know they got blown out that game against Gonzaga, but he was certainly something to look forward to. He just doesn't have the skill right now the skill set to carry an offense for stretches, and the shooting has been unreliable. That is a brief summary of his play. We're going to break all that down just in a second, but give you some more of an idea of who this kid is and what he brings to the table. He's 6'10", 220, which is a pretty solid frame, if you ask me. He's from Georgia. He was only a freshman last year, and so you know that there's a lot of potential with this guy, being a freshman and pretty much being the best player on that team, leading them to an NCAA tournament appearance. Georgia was one of the highest scoring teams in the league last year, so there's a lot of positives to take from his offensive game. Currently, he's 19 years old. He's coming from a Montverde Academy, one of the best, basketball, NBA future schools. Like they've produced so many NBA talent that are in the NBA today. And this is just another one of those prospects, Asa Newell. And so here are his stats. We're going to change over here to this graphic real quick. 33 games played, 29 minutes per game. That's out of 40, so that's pretty solid. Shooting 54% from the field, which is not too bad. 3-pointers at 29.2, not the best, but he is a power forward. He's a big man. And one thing that I want to point out here that is a huge positive if you're an NBA team is that he, despite being super tall, 220, big man, he's shooting 75% from the free throw line, which is is where you want to be if you're a guy like Newell. He's averaging 7 rebounds per game, getting assists, 1 block per game, and limiting to himself to 1 turnover. And of course, 15.4 points per game. And that's in the SEC. That is in the toughest league in in NCAA college basketball. You just saw the Florida Gators win the national championship just about a week ago now. So he has proven himself to be a very credible offensive threat in one of the best basketball leagues collegiately. Now, here are some of his strengths on the basketball court. He's very good at finishing at the rim. Newell is an explosive leaper who also has good soft hands to catch tough passes or corral offensive boards in traffic. Once he possesses the ball, he does a great job of keeping it high. He also has a solid handle driving in a straight line. So with NBA spacing, he could become a threat from attacking from the perimeter. Jumper potential. He shows flashes of developing his jump shot. It's not exactly all there yet. It's not like his primary weapon, his go-to. But he's showing that he's only 19 years old. He's going to grow. He's going to only get better from here on out. I know earlier I showed you he's like 29% from 3, which again is not great. But there's definitely some potential regarding his jump shot. Rim protection. Newell's an impactful defender at the rim, using his length and timing to alter shots. Again, he's 6, I think it was 6'10", 6'11", 220. So he's not really skinny and is just gonna get bullied down low. He has some weight to him. He has a good body build for someone his size that's playing the power forward position. So that should certainly be a positive take to when he goes into the NBA. Concerns, though. There are some concerns regarding his play. He gets slightly careless with the ball, leading to strips or interceptions, which limits him out of the short roll and the pick and pop option. Perhaps most importantly, without a handle, it's a lot easier to switch ball screens against him, which neutralizes his lob threat on the roll. His defense, and this is something that he's gonna have to improve if he wants to be a Houston Rocket, let alone playing the NBA for a long period of time. He's not as disciplined defensively. He misses some rotations and commits avoidable fouls because he's out of position. Sometimes he'll simply misread a play, like choosing to stay close to a poor shooter rather than rotating over to contain a driving opponent. And this really, this isn't surprising considering Georgia. They were really known for their defense last year. They were strictly like an offensive minded team, and so being in a program prioritizes defense, but not really because you're in the SEC and you got to score if you're going to win those games. They score a lot of points per game, but also that's not a huge surprise considering the program that he was in. So he's going to have to get better. He's going to have to, I'm sure, once he comes either to Houston or whatever NBA team is or that he goes to, his defense is something that he's got to step up and have at an NBA level. Shooting production, this is going back to the 29%. He only made 29% of his jumpers as a freshman per synergy. Until he proves he can extend his range, his ability to space the floor will merely be theoretical. And so there's a lot of things to look out for when it comes to a guy like Asa Newell. I think he has the frame and he has the ability to get to that position, and he could honestly be a very good pickup because when you consider the fact that you have Şengün and you use Steven Adams as his backup. Steven Adams does a fantastic job being the backup to Alperen Şengün, and does a fantastic job in their double big lineup, which has worked pretty great for the Houston Rockets so far this season. And so that's something that they want to continue to implement in their game plan. It's going to be tough to rely on Steven Adams, especially because he is a free agent after this year. And so there's just a lot of uncertainty in terms of like if he's going to come back. And so being able to draft a guy who has the size, has the build to be, your potential backup big man, it could be huge, right? And this is the best power forward in the draft. And so if you can get a guy like him and develop him to be, not be Steven Adams, but be like as reliable as an NBA veteran like him is, then that can be huge. And again, you already drafted a lot of your future prospects with Amen Thompson, Jalen Green, as well as Alperen Şengün, and so you've done a good draft. We have the talent, and so this is Rockets should be comfortable with this slow process of getting a guy like Asa Newell to the position that he needs to be in, and so there's a lot to break down, and so overall, I do think that he can be a solid addition. Considering whether or not Houston does trade this pick for, whatever it may be, KD, people have their opinions on that, or any other, player that we want to bring into this Houston Rockets team. We shall see. If we decide to keep it, this is one of the people that we are projected to get. I think it's overall a solid, fine and good pickup for our team. But let me know in the comments, should we keep this pick or should we trade it and try to get someone else on our team? Let me know in the comments. And if you have not already, make sure to subscribe to this channel. If you made it all the way to the video, I can assume that you like the Houston Rockets and like this content. So thank you very much. We'll see you next time on Rockets Digest.